we have actually two other new products that we're really proud to launch. This one being the Speeder Pro. And the Speeder
Pro.
Yeah, the Speeder Pro.
And so last year there was Fuji Pro. Now we have a Speeder Pro.
That's correct. Okay. So it's kind of an extension to that, where this one here has some differences in that it's this was built with today's club heads in mind, where they're getting a little slightly heavier, and some people are trying to go with longer longer clubs, and knowing that there's a difficulty in getting the swing weight of the club, this shaft was designed in a way that where we wanted to really reduce the swing weight, or basically bring the balance point higher up. Okay, so we have a technology called HDCC, which stands for High Density Composite Core.
HDDC.
HDCC.
HDCC.
Yeah, High Density Composite Core. What we did was we put this heavier composite material in the handle section. Okay. Okay, and that's going to help counterbalance. We also take weight out of the tip area, right? And we replace that with higher modulus materials to make sure we.
So you hold on to tip stability with high modulus materials.
Absolutely.
You take a little
extra heavier
you pull
materials.
some weight in here with a material that isn't really going to add excessive stiffness.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to see one of these EI curves that takes off towards the moon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to get to see something a little more rational.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then for the club builder, it's the ability to hit club swing weight, right, with a heavier head or a longer club. Okay. And by doing this HDCC in the butt section, we also have a straight taper design. And it's something that's kind of important to me. When Speeder first launched, it had a very large butt OD. And I think there are some players, especially on tour, that when they start using that and getting accustomed to it, there's a certain feel attribute of having a larger handle. And then we've got...
And I know one player that will tell me if I've got one too many pieces of tape. He stopped, he interrupted a trial we were doing the other day and said, "You've got a .58 grip on a .60 shaft. I'm going to leave these all to the right."
Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
There is some attributes to the handle. I think what you're bringing up is some performance differences on closure, maybe, as the size of the handle changes, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting you bring that up, because we did some Enzo evaluation on that.
Did you?
Yes, because we were really interested in knowing whether because we want to really make this a straight taper product with a larger handle, and maintain the feel attribute for people who might prefer the larger handle size. And of course, the first concerns are whether that handle affects your closure, right?
Right.
So we ran these tests on Enzo, and we could not find any kind of trend that would say it was,
I'm going to send you somebody that will show it to you. Okay. Don't tell him what you put in his hand; he'll tell you.
Okay.
And he's a former tour player.
Sure.
Right. So.
Sure. And I think you might say for some people might have that effect.
Every time you find a rule, you find that 20%.
Yes. Correct. Yeah. Correct. But to me, the feel attribute is actually important. Yeah. When you're used to something with a larger diameter and you touch something that's honestly different than what you're accustomed to, before you even swing it, you might have some perceived, negative effects of something that you're not accustomed to.
Yeah. So we don't know whether we've got a psychosomatic effect there, and he feels the bigger grip and leaves them all to the right.
Yeah, I personally think that the larger grip allows you to grip it with less pressure. Right? Yes. Because you have more surface area to hold on to, and you don't have to really clamp down on it with your hands. And when you have the ability to do that...
There's nothing like trying to fit a guy with Paul Bunyan-style hands in a standard grip.
Yes.
Right? Which is why in all of my fittings I recommend to all other fitters that they get an air compressor and have it out there with them and blow those grips off and change and put the grip in the guy's hands that fits. I don't know how you can fit without doing it.
Sure.
I just can't figure it out.
And you bring up a good point. For larger hands, they probably would need a larger grip. My point is that even if you have even at any hand size, just sometimes gripping something that's a larger diameter will just have a more comfortable feel.
Yes.
And I think that
putter grips. Look where that went.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
But when you grip something that's a larger diameter, the idea of not having to use so much pressure, it's a looser wrist. We expect you to have a looser release. Right? Than someone who has
and you're seeing it.
We are seeing it.
Okay.
I would say it.
So it's not just another idea that's floating out there. You see it, and that's that's where it's different for what you're doing now. Is that the application of science is taking these theories and saying that one works, but that one didn't, and that one didn't, and that one didn't.
Right.
We couldn't validate that. But here's an idea, and I heard this in a presentation the other day. Here's an idea that's 20 years old. We validated it. Mm-hmm. It's not like they discovered something new, but now they can say, yes, that one was a good one.
That's right.
Yeah. So, okay, so we've got this, and what we have here is amplification of the tip with higher modulus materials and a shift in balance with materials that aren't going to put this grip off to the moon.
That's right. And the difference between the Speeder Evolution line with the Speeder Pro would be that the Evolution will tend to have a lower launch characteristics, and based on its tour heritage, you're going to see that this one here is for that kind of player who wants that kind of low launch, low spin. Mm-hmm. The Speeder Pro is kind of meant to take care of the other line that we're leaving out, mm-hmm. which is more of a forgiving tip side to give a little bit more launch and a little more spin. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's some people who just have to have that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people actually that can use that.
Yeah, many.
And so we hope that
it came to me one day when I wasn't quite doing it with my driver and just said, "You're spending the rest of the day in the bag." Pulled out my 3-wood and whacked the ball much further than I had been hitting my driver that month. Yeah. And my friends all looked at it and said, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Shortened it up a little bit and put some more loft on it.
There you go.
And so here we've got a little extra loft.
That's right.
For those days when you're just not delivering a positive angle of attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we have here?
Let me tell you this, though. This is offered in a 66 gram and a 76 gram.
Yeah.
Within only about, I think we have 9 SKUs on this, and it's a really complete fitting system. And we have a tour spec line of this as well. Okay. So the tour spec line is something that I think Fujikura, we're going to promote more prevalently, because the tour spec is that stiffer, low launch, low spin kind of profile. Mm-hmm. And I think in the past you've seen us have products that I think we've been known for. Sometimes people say we're a very stiff product and it's mm-hmm. hard to fit the masses. A lot of our customers would say that, I've got a lot of customers that don't fit this category.
Yeah.
And so I think a solution to that was have a tour spec line, and that tour spec line satisfies the tour and these people who are bombers and really need that kind of rigidity.
Yeah. Right.
And the non-tour spec lines are just a step down.
You do that in most of your products.
We're
right?
doing that a lot.
More
so
and more. So we've got these, and then we've got the tour spec line.
Correct. To kind of segregate that out so that we could serve a larger audience.
Right. And so you have the 0.0 and the 0.1, the 0.2, and then the tour spec.
That's right.
Sometimes the 0.2 and 0.3 in the tour spec. Yeah.
So this guy here with 9 SKUs, I think we have a really good fitting solution. We call it like it's the way we're going to fit with this is there's like 4 S flexes in this line, 4 mm-hmm. X flexes in this line, and those are kind of like the people I think we're going to be navigating, are going to be going toward this. And if one doesn't work, there's 3 others that you could dial in flight.
Right. Same weight, same stiffness in a sense.
The weight will gradually change.
Yeah.
As the weight gets heavier, the stiffness slightly gets heavier.
Yeah.
Right. And so your launch can come down, and the torque will change as well
mm-hmm.
to get stiffer. So you have this ability to lower the flight mm-hmm. as you get higher in weight, or as you choose tour spec.
Right.
So you can go into tour spec if you want that, or go higher in weight.
Okay. Got it.